There's someone whose heart keeps circling back to you, not occasionally, not randomly, but with an intensity that's catching them completely off guard. This isn't a fleeting thought or casual curiosity. What's happening in their inner world right now is something they can't control, can't rationalize, and honestly can't fully understand. Their soul is reaching toward you before their mind has figured out why. If you're watching this video, you've probably felt something too. Maybe you've sensed a shift in the energy around you. Maybe you've caught yourself wondering about someone who's been unusually quiet or unusually present. Maybe you've noticed synchronicities that seem too specific to be coincidence, their name appearing everywhere, songs that remind you of them playing at the oddest moments, or this inexplicable knowing that something is moving beneath the surface. What I'm about to share with you isn't speculation. This is about what's genuinely unfolding in someone's heart right now, and why their craving to meet you, or to reconnect with you, has reached a point where they can barely contain it anymore. Before we go deeper, if you've been blessed by this content before, the super thanks button below is a beautiful way to support this work and help me continue creating these messages. It's never required, but always appreciated from the heart. Now, let me tell you what's really happening. This person isn't just thinking about you in passing. They're experiencing something much more profound, a magnetic pull they can't explain to anyone else because it sounds too intense, too sudden, or too illogical. When they try to describe it to themselves, the words don't fit. How do you explain that someone you may have just met feels like someone you've known forever? How do you articulate that someone you've known casually suddenly feels essential? How do you make sense of a connection that hasn't even fully formed yet but already feels undeniable? The divine has a way of writing names on hearts before those hearts know what to do with them. And your name? It's been inscribed there with purpose, with intention, with perfect timing. If you're feeling this too, just drop a heart in the comments. No explanation needed, just let me know you're here and you're feeling this. What makes this moment so powerful is that they're not just craving your presence, they're craving the version of themselves they become when they think about you. When your name crosses their mind, something inside them expands. Their breathing deepens. Their chest opens. They feel more hopeful, more alive, more like the person they've always wanted to be. You've become associated in their consciousness with possibility, with joy, with a future that finally feels exciting instead of predictable. And here's what they're discovering: they can't talk themselves out of this. They've tried. Oh, they've tried. They've listed all the logical reasons why this doesn't make sense. They've reminded themselves of timing, circumstances, logistics, past hurts, protective walls. They've attempted to redirect their attention, to focus on other things, to convince themselves that what they're feeling is premature or exaggerated. But late in the evening, when everything settles down and they're alone with their thoughts, there you are again. When they're moving through their day and something beautiful happens, a sunset, a moment of laughter, a small victory, their first instinct is to share it with you. When they're struggling with something heavy, you're the person they wish they could talk to, even if they barely know you yet. This isn't obsession. This is recognition. Something in them recognizes something in you. And the divine has been orchestrating this recognition, preparing both of your hearts, aligning your paths, removing obstacles, creating the conditions for this connection to emerge into the light. Stay with me, because what I'm about to reveal about why this is happening will shift how you see everything that's been unfolding between you. Let me paint a picture of what their days look like right now, because understanding their internal experience will help you grasp the depth of what's happening. They'll be going about their routine, working, running errands, talking with friends, and suddenly they're wondering what you're doing. Not in a stalking way, but in this tender, curious way. They wonder if you're having a good day. They wonder if you're warm enough, rested enough, happy enough. They catch themselves wanting to text you, then second-guessing whether they should, then crafting 3 different versions of a message before deleting all of them because nothing captures what they actually want to say. What they actually want to say is, "I can't stop thinking about you, and I don't know what that means, and I'm terrified and exhilarated at the same time." But you can't just send that, can you? So instead they send something casual, something safe, testing the waters while their heart pounds. Or they send nothing at all, convincing themselves that silence is wiser than vulnerability, even as that silence costs them sleep. Here's what's happening on a deeper level: their soul is hungry for your energy specifically. Not just anyone's attention, not just any connection, yours. They've been around plenty of people. They've had conversations, friendships, relationships. But something about you has unlocked a frequency in them that's been dormant. When they interact with you, even briefly, they leave feeling different. More themselves. More awake. More present. You know how sometimes you meet someone and afterward you feel drained? This is the opposite. After encountering you, even through a brief text exchange or a short conversation, they feel energized. Inspired. Like they've remembered something important about who they are. This is why they keep coming back, even when their logical mind tells them to play it cool or protect themselves or not get their hopes up. Their heart knows something their mind hasn't caught up to yet: you're not a distraction from their path. You're connected to it. The divine doesn't whisper names to hearts randomly. When someone's soul becomes magnetized toward another person the way theirs has toward you, it's because there's purpose in the connection. Maybe you're meant to walk together for a season or a lifetime. Maybe you're meant to catalyze each other's growth. Maybe you're meant to experience a kind of love that transforms everything you thought you knew about connection. But one thing is certain: this craving they're experiencing isn't arbitrary. It's been divinely authored. Type divine if you're recognizing this is bigger than both of you. Now let's talk about the specific ways this is showing up in their behavior, because you've probably noticed changes. They're more attentive to you than they are to others. When you speak, they really listen, not just waiting for their turn to talk, but absorbing your words, your tone, the things you don't say. They remember details about your life that you mentioned once in passing. They notice when something's off with you, even when you're trying to hide it. This isn't because they're trying to impress you. It's because you've become important to them in a way that transcends performance. They're also initiating more than they usually would. If they're typically reserved or cautious in relationships, you'll notice they're taking uncharacteristic risks with you. They're reaching out first. They're suggesting plans. They're creating reasons to be in your orbit. And if they're pulling back, it's not because they don't want to connect, it's because they want it so much that it scares them. Fear and desire are often tangled together when the stakes feel this high. They might be running from you and toward you simultaneously. In the same week, the same day, even the same hour, they might send you a warm message and then go radio silent. They might make plans and then seem distant when you're together. This isn't game playing. This is internal conflict. Part of them wants to sprint toward this connection with complete abandon. Another part is terrified of what it might cost them, what it might require them to confront, what it might mean to let someone matter this much. Be patient with this dance. It's not about you. It's about them wrestling with their own readiness for what you represent. Here's what you need to understand: you've disrupted their equilibrium, and I mean that in the most beautiful way. Before you, they had their life arranged in a certain way. They had their routines, their walls, their expectations, their safety zones. They might have been comfortable, or they might have been numb, but either way, they had things under control. Then you showed up, or you shifted from background to foreground in their awareness, and suddenly control feels less important than connection. Suddenly safety feels less appealing than aliveness. Suddenly their carefully constructed life feels like it's been waiting for this element they didn't know was missing. You are that element. And the divine whispered your name to their heart because their heart needed to hear it. Their soul needed the invitation to expand, to risk, to believe again that magic is still possible. This is exactly where we need to go deeper, because what's happening beneath their craving is even more profound than the craving itself. Let's explore the dimensions of what they're experiencing, because this isn't one-dimensional longing. This is a multi-layered transformation happening within them, and you're at the center of it. First, there's a spiritual component to this that they may or may not be consciously aware of. On a soul level, they're responding to a call. The divine has been preparing them for this connection, softening their heart, teaching them lessons through past experiences, removing people and situations that would have prevented them from recognizing you when you appeared. You've heard the phrase, when the student is ready, the teacher appears. Sometimes when the heart is ready, the person appears. And their heart has been made ready specifically for you. This might sound mystical, and it is, but it's also practical. Think about how connections that weren't meant to be tend to force themselves, struggle, require constant effort. And think about how connections that are divinely aligned tend to flow, even when they're challenging. There's a rightness to them that transcends circumstance. What they're feeling toward you has that quality of rightness. Even if the timing seems complicated, even if there are obstacles, even if they're scared, underneath all of that is this bone-deep sense that you're supposed to be in each other's lives. They might pray about you. They might meditate and find you appearing in their mind's eye. They might keep seeing signs that bring you to mind, angel numbers when they're thinking of you, unexpected encounters with your name, dreams where you appear with startling clarity. The universe is confirming what their heart already knows, this connection is sacred. The emotional dimension, the hunger for authenticity. On an emotional level, what they're craving isn't just your presence, it's the authenticity you inspire in them. So many people move through life wearing masks, playing roles, managing impressions. It's exhausting. With you, they feel permission to be real. Maybe you've shown vulnerability first, and that gave them permission to lower their guard. Maybe there's something about your energy that's inherently accepting, non-judgmental, safe. Maybe you've laughed at their weird jokes or appreciated their quirks instead of trying to smooth them over. Whatever it is, you've created a space where they can breathe fully, and they're addicted to that feeling. They're craving more conversations where they can say what they actually think instead of what sounds good. More moments where they can admit they're struggling without being fixed or judged. More laughter that comes from genuine joy instead of social obligation. More silence that feels comfortable instead of awkward. With most people, they're performing. With you, they're being. And once you've tasted that kind of authenticity, everything else feels hollow. The psychological dimension, you mirror their growth. Psychologically, you represent something they're becoming. This is subtle but powerful. Often, we're drawn to people who embody qualities we're growing into ourselves. They see in you a version of confidence, creativity, peace, strength, or freedom that they're cultivating within themselves, and your presence accelerates that growth. When they're around you, they feel smarter, funnier, braver, more interesting. Not because you're making them feel that way intentionally, but because you're reflecting back their own expanding capacity. You're showing them who they're capable of being. This is why they're craving time with you. It's not dependency, it's inspiration. You're a mirror for their own evolution, and being near you helps them access parts of themselves they're still learning to trust. The relational dimension, finally, someone who gets it. Relationally, they're experiencing something rare, the sense of being understood without explanation. You know those connections where you have to constantly clarify yourself, defend your perspective, justify your feelings? Where you feel like you're speaking different languages? With you, there's an ease of understanding that feels miraculous after a lifetime of being misunderstood or having to over-explain. Maybe you share similar values, similar wounds, similar dreams. Maybe your sense of humor aligns. Maybe you both see the world through a similar lens, spiritual, philosophical, creative, analytical, whatever it is. They're craving more of this resonance because it's so rare. They've learned you can be surrounded by people and still feel lonely if none of them really get you. But with you, even brief interactions leave them feeling less alone in the universe. There's also a physical component that's impossible to ignore. When they think about you, their body responds. Their heart rate changes. Their breathing shifts. They might feel warmth in their chest, butterflies in their stomach, tingling in their hands, energy moving through their body. This isn't just attraction, though that might be part of it. This is their nervous system recognizing safety, excitement, homecoming. Their body is saying yes before their mind has decided whether it should. When they're near you, they're hyper-aware of the space between you. They notice if you move closer or pull away. They feel the electricity when you accidentally touch. They're attuned to your presence in a way that's both thrilling and unnerving. This physical craving, to be near you, to touch you, to share space with you, is their body's way of expressing what their soul already knows: you belong in each other's proximity. The timing dimension: why now? Here's something crucial: this isn't just about who you are. It's about when you've appeared. The timing of your connection is significant. They're at a place in their journey where they're ready for what you represent. Maybe they've just done major healing work. Maybe they've just released an old relationship or pattern. Maybe they've just stepped into a new level of self-awareness or purpose. Maybe they've just opened their heart after having it closed for years. Whatever their specific journey has been, they've arrived at a place where they can receive you. Where they can recognize you. Where they can rise to meet what you're offering and offer something meaningful in return. 5 years ago, they might not have been ready for you. 5 years from now might have been too late. But right now, the timing is divine. The whisper of your name to their heart came at exactly the moment they were able to hear it. If this resonates with where you are in your own journey, drop a single word describing what you're feeling right now. Now, here's where this gets even more interesting. Because what's happening isn't one-sided. There's a reason you're watching this video. There's a reason their energy has captured your attention. There's a reciprocal pull here that's worth examining. You're not accidentally on the receiving end of their craving. The divine orchestrates these things in both directions. While they've been feeling drawn to you, you've been feeling something too: maybe curiosity, maybe anticipation, maybe recognition, maybe resistance, maybe hope. Whatever you're feeling is valid and part of this unfolding. The question isn't whether this connection is real; it clearly is. The question is, what are you going to do with it? And that's exactly what we need to explore next, because understanding why they're craving you is one thing. Knowing how to navigate what's happening is another. Let me share something with you that might shift your entire perspective on what's unfolding. This craving they're experiencing, this divine whisper of your name to their heart, isn't happening to create drama, test you, or complicate your life. It's happening because both of your souls agreed to this before you ever met. On a level beyond conscious awareness, there was an agreement that your paths would cross, that you would recognize each other, that you would have the opportunity to choose each other. Not everyone gets this opportunity. Not everyone experiences this kind of soul-level magnetism. The fact that it's happening means you're both ready for something significant: a transformation, a healing, a love that rewrites your understanding of what's possible between two people. But here's the awakening part: readiness doesn't mean easy. It means possible. What they're experiencing right now is the tension between what their soul knows and what their life currently looks like. Their soul knows you're significant. It knows this connection has purpose. It knows that exploring this could lead somewhere beautiful and important. But their life, their logical mind, their fear, their past wounds, their current circumstances, is saying, wait, be careful, don't move too fast, protect yourself, remember what happened last time. This is the war happening within them. And it's why their behavior might seem contradictory or confusing to you. One day they're leaning in, the next they're pulling back. One moment they're vulnerable, the next they're guarded. This isn't manipulation. This is a human being standing at a threshold, terrified of walking through it and terrified of not walking through it. You're the threshold. And what the divine is doing right now is giving them every opportunity, every sign, every nudge to take the step. But the divine will never override free will. They have to choose this. They have to choose you. They have to choose the risk of opening their heart even though hearts can break. Here's what I'm seeing for those of you watching this. Some of you are on the edge of something breathtaking with this person. The craving they feel is about to translate into action. They're about to reach out in a real way. They're about to stop hiding behind casual messages and protective distance. They're about to say what they've been feeling, or show up in a way that makes their interest undeniable. This is coming soon. And when it does, you'll recognize it because it will feel different than anything they've done before. There will be a weight to it, a sincerity, here I am, fully present, no more games, quality. Prepare your heart to receive this. Don't play games back. Don't make them guess. If you feel it too, let them know. If you need more time, say so kindly. If you're not interested, be clear and compassionate. But don't leave them in ambiguity when they finally find the courage to step out of theirs. For others of you, this is a longer unfolding. The craving is real, but they're not ready yet to act on it. They have work to do first, healing, growing, ending something old before beginning something new. This doesn't mean it won't happen. It means it's not time yet. And the divine is asking you to practice something incredibly difficult: patience without attachment. Openness without expectation. Interest without desperation. Stay available without putting your life on hold. Stay curious without obsessing. Stay hopeful without making them your entire focus. This is advanced level faith. Trusting that what's meant for you will find you, while continuing to live fully in the present moment. And for some of you, this video is confirmation of something you already knew but doubted. You felt their energy shifting toward you. You sensed their interest growing. But you second-guessed yourself. You thought maybe you were imagining it, projecting, making something out of nothing. You're not imagining it. What you've been sensing is real. The divine whispered your name to their heart, and your spirit picked up on that whisper. You're energetically connected to this person in a way that allows you to feel shifts in their inner world even when they haven't expressed them outwardly. Trust your intuition. Trust what you're picking up. Trust the synchronicities, the dreams, the sudden thoughts of them, the sense that something is building. You're not crazy. You're connected. Now, here's the deeper awakening I need you to receive. This connection, as significant as it is also here to teach you something essential about yourself. Every person we're drawn to, every person who's drawn to us, is a teacher. They reveal something about who we are, what we're healing, what we're becoming. Ask yourself, what is this person reflecting back to me? What quality do they embody that I'm being called to develop in myself? What fear is their presence bringing to the surface? What hope are they awakening? What old wound is being triggered so it can finally heal? Sometimes people come into our lives romantically, and that's the whole purpose. Other times, they come romantically to deliver a spiritual lesson, to show us we're worthy of desire, capable of connection, ready for love. And once that lesson is received, the form of the relationship might shift. I'm not saying this connection won't be romantic. Many of you watching this are absolutely headed toward romantic partnership with this person. But I'm saying, don't miss the deeper gift while you're focused only on the outcome. The fact that someone's craving you, that the divine whispered your name to their heart, is already proof of something: you are deeply desirable, profoundly valuable, and worthy of being chosen. Whether this specific person ends up being your forever or your catalyst, that truth remains. If you're receiving this truth right now, that you are worthy of being craved, worthy of having your name whispered divinely to someone's heart, type, I am worthy. Let's also talk about what you're being called to do energetically while this unfolds, because you have more influence on this situation than you might realize. Your energy right now is either pulling them closer or pushing them away. Not in a manipulative, law of attraction way where you have to perform positivity. But in a genuine way where your internal state affects the energetic field between you. If you're anxious, desperate, constantly checking your phone, obsessing over every interaction, analyzing every word they say, that energy creates pressure. And pressure makes people retreat. If you're grounded, living your life fully, open but not attached, confident in your worth, that energy creates space. And space allows people to move toward you freely. This doesn't mean playing hard to get or pretending you don't care. It means actually doing the internal work to reach a place where you genuinely trust that what's meant for you won't miss you, and what's not meant for you won't fulfill you even if you get it. The divine is inviting you to practice embodying the relationship you want before you have it. Be the person who's already loved. Be the person who's already chosen. Be the person who's already secure in their worth. This isn't manifestation technique. This is spiritual maturity. And as you embody this, watch how the dynamic shifts. Watch how they feel safer approaching you. Watch how the connection deepens naturally instead of being forced. You don't need to chase what's yours. You need to become so rooted in yourself that what's yours can find you. This is the awakening. You're not waiting for them to choose you so you can finally feel chosen. You're recognizing you're already chosen, by the divine, by life, by your own soul. And from that place of already being chosen, you're simply seeing if this person is aligned with the love you're ready to give and receive. Everything shifts when you realize you're not auditioning for a role in their life. You're discerning if they're ready for a role in yours. Hold on, because what I'm about to share about how to move forward with this will give you the clarity and confidence you need. So what do you actually do with all of this? How do you navigate a situation where someone is craving you, where the divine has whispered your name to their heart, but nothing has fully manifested yet? Let me give you practical, grounded guidance. Stay rooted in your own life. First and most importantly, do not abandon your life waiting for theirs to align with yours. This is crucial. I've watched too many people put their dreams on hold, stop dating other people, turn down opportunities, isolate from friends, and essentially freeze their life in anticipation of someone else's next move. Don't do this. Keep building your career. Keep nurturing your friendships. Keep pursuing your passions. Keep healing your wounds. Keep growing spiritually. Keep creating, moving, living, becoming. If this person is meant to be part of your life, they will fit into the life you're actively building, not the life you paused for them. And here's the paradox: the more fully you live, the more magnetic you become. People are drawn to those who are engaged with life, not those who are waiting on the sidelines for life to begin. Your fullness attracts. Your emptiness repels. So fill your days with meaning, purpose, joy, and growth. Let this connection be an addition to an already rich life, not the thing that finally makes your life worth living. Communicate clearly and kindly. Second, if they're giving you mixed signals, it's okay to ask for clarity. Not from a place of desperation, but from a place of self-respect. You don't have to decode cryptic messages and analyze breadcrumbs like a detective. You're allowed to say, "I'm sensing something between us, and I'd like to know where you stand." You're allowed to say, "I'm interested in exploring this connection, but I need more consistency if we're going to move forward." You're allowed to say, "I care about you, but I can't keep guessing what you want. I need you to be clear with me." Asking for clarity isn't pressure. It's maturity. And if asking for clarity scares them away, then they weren't ready for you anyway. The right person won't punish you for having standards and boundaries. The right person will respect you more for knowing your worth and communicating your needs. Pay attention to actions, not just energy. Third, while you're feeling their energetic pull and sensing their craving, also watch their actions. Energy and intention matter, but so do choices and behavior. Are they making time for you, or are they too busy but hope you'll wait? Are they introducing you to important people in their life, or keeping you separate? Are they consistent, or do they disappear for weeks and then pop back up? Are they available emotionally, or are they still clearly entangled with someone else? Are they moving toward you steadily, or are they keeping you at the same distance indefinitely? Someone can crave you deeply and still not be ready or willing to act on it. And you deserve more than being someone's internal fantasy while they keep you at arm's length in reality. Don't ignore red flags because the chemistry is strong. Don't make excuses for behavior you wouldn't accept from anyone else. Don't convince yourself that their craving is enough if it's not translating into the kind of connection you actually want. The divine may have whispered your name to their heart, but that doesn't obligate you to wait forever while they figure out what to do about it. Stay open without forcing. Fourth, Create space for this to unfold organically without forcing a specific timeline or outcome. This means staying receptive when they reach out, but not obsessively initiating contact. It means showing interest without chasing. It means being warm without being desperate. It means giving them opportunities to step forward without creating an ultimatum. Forcing has a specific energy, it's tight, anxious, controlling. It pushes people away even when they want to come closer because it doesn't feel safe. Allowing also has a specific energy, it's open, trusting, spacious. It invites people in because there's room to move freely. Practice allowing. Trust the timing. Trust the process. Trust that if this is divinely orchestrated, it will unfold in the right way at the right time without you having to manipulate or control it. Fifth, use this time to do your own healing and preparation. Because if this connection is coming, you want to be ready to receive it from your highest self, not your wounded self. What old patterns need to be released before you enter something new? What fears need to be addressed so they don't sabotage what's building? What beliefs about love, worthiness, or relationships need to be updated? What parts of yourself need more development, your communication skills, your emotional regulation, your capacity for vulnerability? The waiting isn't wasted if you're using it to become more whole. And here's what's beautiful, as you do your work, they're doing theirs, whether consciously or unconsciously. The divine is preparing both of you. The craving they feel is pulling them toward their own growth just as your awareness of this connection is pulling you toward yours. You're both being refined in the fire of longing, made ready for what's coming. Protect your peace. Sixth, don't let this situation steal your peace. If obsessing over this person, constantly checking for messages, stalking their social media, and analyzing every interaction is making you anxious and miserable, stop. Your peace is more valuable than any relationship. And ironically, you can't build a healthy relationship from a place of inner chaos anyway. Set boundaries with yourself. Limit how much time you spend thinking about this. Redirect your attention when you notice you're spiraling. Talk to trusted friends who can give you perspective. Journal to process your feelings instead of letting them run on repeat in your mind. This connection should add to your life, not dominate it. If it's consuming you, that's a sign you need to pull back internally and reground yourself. Trust the outcome, whatever it is. Finally, trust that whatever happens is what's meant to happen. This doesn't mean being passive. It means doing your part, staying open, communicating clearly, living fully, and then trusting the outcome to divine wisdom. If this connection blooms into everything you hope it will be, you'll be grateful you didn't force it or manipulate it but let it unfold naturally. If this connection ultimately goes a different direction, you'll eventually see the reason why. Maybe they were meant to awaken something in you but not walk the whole journey with you. Maybe you were meant to learn something essential but not build a life together. Maybe the timing was never going to align despite the strong connection. Whatever the outcome, trust it. The divine doesn't whisper your name to someone's heart to torture you or set you up for disappointment. The divine whispers your name because there's purpose in the connection, either as a destination or as a step on the path to your true destination. If you're committing to trust the process and the outcome, type "I trust." Now let me speak to those of you who are afraid. Afraid to hope. Afraid to let yourself want this. Afraid that if you admit how much you care, it will hurt more if it doesn't work out. I understand that fear. I honor it. But I also want to invite you to risk hope anyway. Yes, opening your heart means it could break. But keeping it closed means it will slowly harden, and that's a different kind of breaking, slower, quieter, but just as devastating. You were made for connection. You were made to love and be loved. You were made to take risks on relationships that feel significant. This person craving you, this divine whisper of your name, it's an invitation to participate in your own love story instead of protecting yourself from it. What if it works out? What if this is the connection that changes everything? What if 10 years from now you look back on this moment as the beginning of the most beautiful chapter of your life? You won't know unless you stay open. So feel the fear, acknowledge it, honor it, and then choose courage anyway. Choose vulnerability. Choose hope. Choose the possibility that this time, in this moment, with this person, something real and beautiful might be birthing. Before we close, I want to offer one more super thanks invitation. If this message has touched something deep in your soul, if it's given you clarity or hope or confirmation, the super thanks button is there as a way to bless this ministry. It helps me dedicate time to creating these deep, spirit-led messages for you. But whether you give or not, know this: you are seen, you are valued, and what's unfolding in your love life right now is held by divine hands. Let me bring this home for you. Someone is craving you. Not casually. Not superficially. Deeply. Persistently. In a way that's disrupting their normal patterns and waking them up to something they didn't know they needed. The divine has whispered your name to their heart, not as a random occurrence but as a sacred appointment. Your paths were always meant to cross at this exact moment. Your energies were always meant to recognize each other. This connection was always written in the stars, even before either of you could see it. And now you're both standing in this liminal space, the space between what was and what could be. The space between familiarity and possibility. The space between safety and risk. This space is uncomfortable. It's uncertain. It requires courage from both of you. But it's also holy ground. This is where transformation happens. This is where people shed old skins and step into new versions of themselves. This is where love gets a chance to surprise you. What they're experiencing, this craving, this magnetic pull, this divine whisper, is their soul's way of saying, pay attention, this matters. And what you're experiencing by being here, watching this, feeling whatever you're feeling, is your soul's way of saying the same thing. So what now? Now you live. You stay rooted in yourself while remaining open to them. You communicate clearly while trusting divine timing. You honor your worth while extending grace. You protect your peace while risking hope. You become someone who is so secure in being chosen by the divine that whether this person chooses you becomes important but not essential. You already know your value. You already know your desirability. You already know you're worthy of a love that craves you, pursues you, and shows up for you fully. This person might be that love. They very well could be. The signs are pointing that direction. But even if they're not, you'll be okay. Because you're not defined by who wants you. You're defined by whose you are, the divine's, wholly and completely. And from that place of security, you can navigate this connection with wisdom and grace. If they step forward, you'll be ready to receive them. If they step back, you'll be grounded enough not to fall apart. If they disappear, you'll trust that something better is coming. If they stay, you'll build something beautiful together. Every outcome leads somewhere good when you trust the divine author of your story. Final invitation: if you believe that what's meant for you will not miss you, and you're choosing to walk forward in faith, drop "Amen" in the comments. I want you to remember something as you leave this video and go back to your life, back to the waiting or the wondering or the unfolding. You are not passive in this story. You have agency. You have choice. You have power. You get to decide how you show up. You get to decide what you'll accept and what you won't. You get to decide how long you'll wait and when you need to move on. You get to decide what kind of love you're available for. The divine whispered your name to their heart, yes. But the divine also speaks directly to your heart, every single day, guiding you, protecting you, redirecting you when needed. So listen to that voice. Trust that guidance. Don't override your intuition just because the chemistry is strong or the potential seems incredible. If something feels off, honor that. If you need to set a boundary, set it. If you need to walk away, walk. Being craved is wonderful. Being chosen is beautiful. But being cherished, respected, and loved well is essential. Don't settle for less than you deserve, no matter how intense the connection feels. That said, If this is the real thing, if this person is genuinely being prepared to love you the way you deserve, don't let fear talk you out of it. Don't sabotage it because you're scared. Don't run because it feels too good to be true. Sometimes things are too good to be true. Other times, things are finally as good as they should have been all along. Discern which one this is, and act accordingly. You're standing at a threshold. On one side is everything familiar, your life as it's been, your heart as it's been, your patterns as they've been. On the other side is possibility, new love, new experiences, new versions of yourself you've never met yet. The divine is inviting you across. But the divine won't carry you. You have to take the step yourself. So take it. When it's time, when you know it's right, when your spirit says, now, take the step. Cross the threshold. Meet this person in the middle. Let yourself be craved and pursued and chosen and loved. You've been preparing for this your whole life. Every heartbreak taught you something. Every disappointment refined you. Every season of loneliness deepened you. Every moment of growth strengthened you. You're ready. Even if you don't feel ready, you're ready. And they're craving you because on some level, their soul recognizes that you're ready too. That you're the person who can meet them where they are and invite them where they're going. That you're the mirror they've been looking for. That you're the missing piece that makes their life make sense. The divine doesn't whisper names to hearts lightly. This is significant. This is sacred. This is worth paying attention to. So pay attention. Stay present. Trust the process. Do your work. Live your life. Keep your heart open. Protect your peace. Communicate clearly. Watch their actions. Honor your worth. Trust the outcome. And know that whatever unfolds from here, you're being held by love, divine love that knows exactly what you need, exactly when you need it, and exactly how to bring it to you. This is your moment. This is your invitation. This is your love story beginning to write itself. Welcome it with an open heart and steady feet. You've got this, beloved. And I'm honored to have been part of your journey today. If this blessed you, one last time, the super thanks button is a beautiful way to support this work and keep these messages flowing. Thank you for being here. Thank you for trusting this process. Thank you for believing in love even when it's scary. Until next time, stay grounded in your worth, open in your heart, and trusting in divine timing. You are loved. You are craved. You are chosen. And so it is. Amen.